minutes late. Standard Wojtyła time. Sorry. I was a little late. I was out skiing. He's so cool. It's good to see you, Tavish. He knows my name. I'm Karol Wojtyła, but people may know me better as Pope John Paul II. Let me guess. Ran into you, Thaddeus? Actually, no. I know who he is, though. Likes hiking. Cav is built like a mountain goat. No. I come at the request of 4 very special people. Mother named Angela, and her 3 children, ages 12 through 8, if I'm not mistaken. Something about them terrorizing our house in big floppy white shoes. It's beautiful. Anyway, they wanted to hear my story, and since I am an actor and a playwright, I decided to tell it. You're an actor? I'm an actor! Alas, poor York. I knew him, Horatio. But yes, I did want to be an actor. It was my passion. Then Germany invaded in 1939. The Kaiser? Old Adolf? They tried to destroy everything Polish. So my friends and I, we ran an underground theater. It was terribly dangerous. We had to break curfew to do it. The Germans shot people who broke curfew. But the theater was all we had. I was desperate to keep Polish culture alive. I was desperate to fight the Germans with culture. And a priest told me that if I had to use a weapon, I should use the weapons they fear most. Our faith and our intellect. So, I decided to become a priest. Fighting old Adolf with the big guns! We had to study in secret. In exchange for the Germans allowing Mass to be said in Krakow twice a week, the church was not allowed to train any new seminarians. So, the Archbishop got a few gardeners. You have stories? I have stories. This one happened before I was bishop. Priests weren't allowed to be out with students outside of the church. They didn't want us influencing them. So when I went on my excursions with the students, hiking, camping, kayaking, it was decided that I would be called Uncle. I would just wear regular clothes and a good pair of sunglasses. I gotcha. Well, one time we were going kayaking, and these 3 officials came and stopped us and asked for our papers and our permits. Well, we had papers. We didn't have any permits. Well, they told us the river was closed. The river's never closed. Then they told us we had to leave. But they didn't tell us how. Never leave a philosopher a loophole. What'd you do? Well, we bid them good day and waited for them to drive off. And then we left by putting our kayaks in the river, paddling on downstream. Ha-ha! Gave the old communist the old 1-2. No. That came later. For example, in Krakow, we have this old tradition where we process the Black Madonna of Czestochowa through the streets. Well, we weren't allowed to because public displays of religious images was forbidden, and the people needed her. They needed her inspiration. But what the communists didn't forbid was religious procession. I think it's a loophole. My assistant and I removed the Black Madonna from her frame, and we gathered everyone together. We began a religious procession through the streets with prayers and psalms and music and flowers, carrying the empty frame through Krakow. No image, not breaking the law. Triumphing success. You're my favorite pope ever! I was rather popular with the youth. 90,000 came to Denver for World Youth Day, and people thought the American youth were lost. They didn't think anyone was going to come. They don't know youth. No, they did not. It's my birthday today, May 18th. So, Angela, if you and your children are watching, My favorite dessert is Kremovka Popeska, papal cream cake. I hope you try some someday. Wait. Anyone who comes by usually leaves a card before they leave. Thaddeus did, Catherine of Alexandria did, Philip Neri did. Yes. Here you go. There he went. Just almost took out my mailbox. So old Tabs did some digging. Turns out, this Pope was quite the smarty pants. Studied philology. He knew 12 languages. Used 9 a lot. During his pontificate, meaning when he was Pope, the big papa, he traveled to 129 countries. 1.1 million kilometers, 680,000 miles. Them's the big ones. When he became Pope, he said, I will not be a Pope who is cloistered. I must have contact, or else I can't be a good pastor. Dude took that to heart. Also, the man wouldn't die. Just wouldn't die. Could not be killed. 1940, after the Germans occupied Poland, he becomes part of a Living Rosary youth group. JP2, not the Germans. JP2 becomes part of a Living Rosary youth group, right? And he's just sort of strolling around, minding his own business, when all of a sudden, a tram flattens him, fractures his skull. That same year, remember how he was working in the quarries with limestone, right? Well, this lorry, that's a cart, big heavy cart with stones, all of a sudden gets loose, just kapowie! Fractures his shoulder. He walked like this, one shoulder higher than the other for the rest of his life. By the time he was 20, he lost everyone he had ever loved. His older sister died before he was born. His mother died when he was 8 with a heart attack. His older brother, who he was very close to, he was 13 years older. He was a physician, died of scarlet fever. And then in 1941, his father died of a heart attack. He wasn't there for any of them. Dude's starting to sound a lot like Job. There's old Redlegs just taking pot shots. That one missed. Well, we'll keep the Polish feller yet. In 1942, after his father's death, he began seriously considering to become a priest. What do you suppose happens? Another pot shot. German truck. Number 3. Woke up in the hospital with a concussion and a hurt shoulder. Spent 2 weeks in there. But you know what the Polish fella did? Took it as a sign, because he survived, of his vocation. In 1944, when the Gestapo were rounding up all the young men of Krakow to quell the uprising, Karol Wojtyła, pre-Pope John Paul II, hid in his uncle's basement, praying the rosary as German troops searched the apartment right above him. Karol Wojtyła escaped to the Archbishop's palace, where he stayed until the Germans left. Could not be killed. Another swing and a miss for old Redlegs. Also, when he was Pope, the Communist Party sent an assassin to do in Pope JP2. So, he was in his Pope-mobile just saying hi to all his, multitude of crowd, and all of a sudden, 2 shots just ring out, and the Pope collapses, losing all sorts of blood. People are panicking. He is rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery. Well, his finger deflected one of the bullets, and it missed the abdominal artery by 1 millimeter. It happened on the anniversary of Fatima. As JP2 says, one hand fired the gun, another guided the bullet. One last story. JP2 had a friend who was dying from throat cancer, and so he penned a letter to Padre Pio. That's right, Padre Big Guns Pio, asking him to pray for her. She was cured. Anyway, there's loads of this stuff. If you're interested, watch the movie Pope John Paul II with Jon Voight. It takes it from his youth to his death. But be warned, bring the tissues. Point is, JP2 was fast-tracked to become a saint. The 5-year waiting period, waived. He's buried in the Vatican, next to the chapel, holding Michelangelo's Pietà, so people can come and venerate him and pray. Want to know the coolest thing? I've actually seen it. Now this is just old Tab's reflection, but the Pope got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And he was a sportsman. He was someone who traveled so much as a Pope. What greater suffering is there to suffer a disease that destroys your balance and your movement and your speech? He gave everything to God, everything to his church. He went toe-to-toe with communism. He went toe-to-toe with the Nazis. He became Papa to the youth. If there was something written, he probably wrote it. He was the first Pope on the New York Times bestseller list. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. John Paul the Great, pray for us. Be not afraid. If you liked the video, give old Tabs one of these. Like, share, subscribe. Comment below on your favorite part. Comment on which saint you'd like to see next. Be awesome. Dear Diary, today was the best day ever.